That's right. So, all right, so that leads me to another set of questions, I suppose, which is what's the relationship between viruses and our immune system? I mean, is there sort of a chicken and the egg thing here that, I mean, viruses clearly came first. So is our immune system largely a response to viruses?
I would say absolutely. Viruses were first. Then the cells evolved with viruses, and the cells had to acquire ways to become resistant to infection. And then as larger organisms evolved, they had to fight as well. And the ones that were killed by infections didn't survive, and those genes left the gene pool. So the immune system is certainly the result of this constant, we call it an arms race, between viruses and their hosts. And it's very interesting now that we have powerful genome sequencing and experimental techniques, we can look at the phylogeny of a gene over time and see how it's changed in response to virus infection. And we can actually test it in the laboratory. So there's no doubt that there has been a constant struggle. The virus makes a change to overcome an immune response of the host, and then in time the host will change to overcome the virus, and it goes back and forth, for sure. Absolutely. And this goes on in probably all organisms that have some kind of a defense system. You know, we have sophisticated protein-based immunity, but insects, for example, have nucleic acid-based immunity, and the same kind of exchanges occur there as well.
Well, in bacteria, I mean, this whole CRISPR business and so forth, right? So a whole slew of biotechnology sort of tools have actually come from bacteria and their constant battle against viruses. Sure. And we use these tools to mess around with cells and to do things to DNA that bacteria originally developed to cut up the RNA or DNA of attacking viruses.
That's right. So these are ancient immune defenses.
Yeah.
And did you know one has a CRISPR system has recently been discovered in a viral genome?
Is that right, really? So this CRISPR, you guys have probably heard something about it in the papers here or there. It's an acronym for something that I can't remember, but it's spelled CRIS.
Clustered,
Oh, God,
regularly interspersed repeats. All right, it's just because the incoming, if a bacterium is infected, the genome is, I didn't get it right, clustered.
I think, wait.
CRISPR, clustered.
Yeah, what's the
regularly
that's right.
Interspaced, what's left? Palindromic repeats.
That's right.
I got it? Okay. They
were
originally made to defend against incoming viruses and foreign DNA. You know, foreign DNA is always assaulting us and all living things, and you don't always want it all. So you have to have DNA-based mechanisms for repelling DNA. And so the cells did that, but viruses have also developed it as well. And I wonder if they did it first. Very interesting question, but we don't know.
And gave it to bacteria.
Perhaps. Really interesting stuff.
This will revolutionize biology, I have to tell you. So keep your eyes open for this CRISPR business. It will, I think, at least change the way we do almost everything. We'll make it possible to not use inbred animals all the time, and who knows, all kinds of things.
And it was discovered how, Stuart? Did the NIH tell someone to discover CRISPR? No, it was random experiments by scientists following their curiosity. This is a plug
I agree.
for
I think it's an important point.
Research, yeah.
So CRISPR, a lot of people will tell you, oh, this CRISPR, this brand new discovery and all the rest. It's not brand new at all. It has been around for over 30 years. It's just that one little piece of it finally got put into place, and with that little piece came the recognition that you could use this technique that bacteria have been using for forever, and maybe viruses, to cut DNA at very, very specific places and sort of sew it back up again and manipulate it in very, very precise ways. And curiously, although it's a very complex system to understand, which I don't understand, I've heard it talked about now 3 times by the discoverers of it, and I still can't understand how it works. But it's sort of like a car. It's really easy to use, even though you have no idea how the damn thing works, you know. So it's literally, you could almost do it in your kitchen, these kinds of things. So it will make things very inexpensive and very rapid and very quick and all the rest of this, and sort of benchtop almost. You won't need a big hole.
Are you using it in your lab?
Yes, we just started using it, actually. Just started using it. Yeah, and then you suddenly can think of all kinds of things. But I'll reiterate Vincent's point that this came out of pure fundamental research. I don't like to call it basic research anymore, because somehow or another, it seems that there's an idea that when you use the word basic, it means, oh, stuff that's known. You mean so fundamental research in the sense of we didn't really know where it was going. There was no particular purpose beyond trying to understand deeply how bacteria fight off viruses, because it seemed like an interesting question to a small group of people, I have to say.
Yeah,
not surprisingly.
Well, famously,
it would be a small group of people.
So Jennifer Doudna, who's done a lot of work on CRISPR, has famously said, when someone suggested to me that I work on this, I said, why would I work on such an obscure system? And now she's going to get the Nobel Prize for doing it. So I totally agree, you know, that we're often told you should work on cancer or diabetes or this disease, and certainly a certain amount of work should go in those areas. But you also have to let scientists go free and do what they want to do. It's really important.
Yeah, there's enough of it to go around, it seems, and you never know where the next thing will come from. There's a great story. This is not biology, but Charles Townsend, who basically invented the maser and then the laser, who was at Columbia University in the physics department as a graduate student, and he was working on this, and he continually got this advice from his, senior professors and all that, to stop crapping around with this stupid light business and get onto something important. Instead, he invented the laser, so, which nobody could figure out what to do with for quite a large number of years, actually. So who knows, Let me see where we are here. Hold on a moment. We did the microbiome.
You want an interlude? I can always fill in.
Go on.
So
I want to tell you something about this virus.